Rob Gooch, how does it feel? Whoo! How does it feel to be betrayed? Out of all of the individuals to experience betrayal, very ironic that it's Rob Gucci. That's when it's Kaku. After Stussy, whoa, a grown man going, but that's what Oda did. That's what Oda did.
He was right.
The bat demon-like wings? This chapter has a lot going for it, yo. The end of this chapter was nuts. If you haven't seen my live stream reaction to the chapter, link in the box below to my Requiem channel for that full live stream. And if you want to see my One Piece episode reactions, they're first done initially on my Patreon. So this coming tomorrow, Saturday, the episode reaction, I'll be doing that there with Yamato and Kaido. Patreon, all on Patreon. It's gonna be later on my Kingu-san channel, edited and censored. In the future, I'm going to have the uncensored versions on my Patreon because YouTube, you know how it is. You know the game, and the game kind of
not cool, totally lame.
Let me get to Kaku, Lucci, Stussy. Stussy ended another ZKK prophecy. Wow, that's all it took. That's all it took. Oh my God, I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry though, because Kaku, he's entered the ancestral plane. He's gonna rebound, I think, quickly. Even though he got and you would think that Rage was the queen of that SUCC ability. No, out of nowhere, Stussy, former queen of the pleasure quarters. Dang, man, I can see why. That was very impressive. But let me stop being in the muck, because this video can go a little bit deeper. It is kind of crazy seeing Stussy be a clone, Miss Buckingham, who apparently, based on the kanji, is Bakken. So Bakken, at least that's the main theory right now. Bakken was a member of the Rocks Pirates. Folks did surmise that way back when. Weevil, as far as you know, Whitebeard, he was a straight and narrow. He was on the straight and narrow, straight edge lifestyle, like old school CM Punk.
None of you have the strength to be straight edge.
When it comes to those activities, he was as pure as an angel, as far as we understand. So unless Bakken did some very nefarious activity.
What do you mean by that?
Stole some seed, let me use those words, then okay, fine. Well, it's not fine, don't do that.
That's no good.
It looks like Weevil is now a clone. If Stussy, well, she's a clone of, well, most likely, a clone of Bakken, and the first successful clone, Unit 1, Stussy, then you would assume that there were unsuccessful clones, and those unsuccessful clones, Weevil actually may be one of these unsuccessful clones. Yo, and what's a key sign for this, you can argue now, is the bandages, or I guess the stitch work on Weevil's face, because that's very similar, as we've known for a while now, but very similar to what Hogback did with the zombies way back when in Thriller Bark. So, oh man. And then also, the Number Giants are clones of ancient giants, but the Number Giants, they don't seem to be as mentally capable as Little Oars Jr., and they have some like animal features to them. So the cloning was unsuccessful because they're not full bore Number Giants like, you know, Little Oars Jr. or even like Oars Luffy. So the same concept here can, let's say, apply to Edward Weevil, where he's an unsuccessful clone of Whitebeard, and his body looks freaky as hell, with like Humpty Dumpty legs. Just very thin, non-existent legs, yo, because he's an unsuccessful clone. So now I have to wonder who's a clone. Of course, making the rounds. Who's a clone? Maybe Mihawk is a clone of Emu. They have the same eyes. Oh, Mamu. So, of course, obviously, it's probably just like a few people that are like Rocks related in some capacity, right? Kaido seems unlikely, though there were theories a long time ago that Bonnie was somewhat related to Big Mom. And since we got full-blown cloning in Whole Cake Island, with Drummer 66, some folks back then argued that Bonnie was a Big Mom clone. Some tier 3 cats did remind me of that old theory. Of course, now obviously not the case, but that right there is going to be an example of what we're going to be seeing now in the fandom, where everybody is going to be combed over with a fine-tooth comb to see if they are a clone or not. Is Zoro a clone of Ryoma? Or, of course, is Tashigi a clone of Kuina? Like, what if Caesar Clown was the one that pushed Kuina down the stairs and then took some of that blood because he witnessed the stored skills of Kuina and then knew that she could be the potential world's whatever. No, I can't. Look, at the end of the damn day, she absolutely positively has my attention. And the lore bits from her and her alone are very interesting, of course. But then before any of this, the Kuma activity in of itself was like, he is seemingly going to the Holy Land. And I wonder, okay, what if he actually is on that same mission that that ancient robot 200 years ago was also trying to accomplish? Is there something that is like attracting him to the Holy Land that has to go there? Or is it a part of, let's say, Order 66? But Dragon gave the order, as far as you know, nor did Vegapunk. I mean, there's got to be some reason he's going back there after Sabo and a few good men saved his ass. Does it involve Vivi? I would hope that Vivi escaped. So Kuma is genuinely trying to climb, like it's Batman the third movie, old school Luffy in Drum Island. And it's ironic how in that same arc, Dr. Luke talks about how someone is truly dead when they're forgotten. And what do we have in a isolated room that Bonnie and Vegapunk just so happen to run by during all their shenanigans? Kuma's memories. Bartholomew Kuma's memories. And the craziest part is not that per se, because we've been known that Kuma's ability was kind of funky. He made Luffy's pain into like a shockwave, like tangible thing. So we knew that Kuma could make the intangible tangible, which you can argue is like an underlying premise of the Logi ability users in some sense. However, the fact that Vegapunk explains that, and I quote, memories? That's right. A scientist out of the West Blue once postulated that a person loses 21 grams of mass upon death, which apparently was an actual real old experiment way back when. The tier 3 guys said like it was like a century plus ago, which was never proven again, except for like that one time. But that being said, and that could be considered the weight of their soul. If nothing else, that link would prove that the soul does in fact exist. Fascinating, isn't it? So the fact that we have a connection now with soul in some ways with memories, and how also, keep in mind this too, someone like Big Mom kind of proved in some way that soul is also tied to life force in some sense. These aspects of the story are becoming more and more and more important as the story continues on. This goes double if you watched a movie called Film Red. Yo, I really want to mention this, but I have to give folks a spoiler warning, so I won't do it for this video, but please, if you can, watch Film Red. When this dude Vegapunk says, can we determine whether things like imagination and memories have mass and volume? Imagination. Yo, can imagination have mass and volume, and they can be accessed through different abilities? Then the idea, oh my god, dude, Luffy, listen, no, I can't, yo, Luffy and the goggles and just imagination, they're videos, hey, stop. Videos, of course, because there's too much to go over in like this one first take, but it gets the mind running. And I have so many takes on like so many of these aspects. I just gotta tackle them. I gotta tackle them one after another, because I would say this: there was something way back when that I always hearken back to. Crocodile's words about devil fruits and how, I forgot when he said it, but Crocodile said way back when that creativity is going to be one of the driving factors of how powerful someone is when it comes to using their abilities. Your creativity. When I think about the things that Luffy can possibly do when he has Gear 5, I'm like, yo. And this man talking about imagination and memories having mass and volume, how they could tie to the foundation of the devil fruits themselves. Yeah. As the old saying goes, if you were to take someone that lived 300 years ago and they were to look at the technology of the world today, they would think we would all be witches and wizards using magic. Yo. If the tech of the old world could access intangible things like imagination and memories and make them tangible, give them mass and just woo! Just woo! Ric Flair status. Woo!